the save glitch, which saves about 12 seconds. So neither of them are at a inherent advantage or disadvantage here.
Emancipation grip, which may, in semi-rare cases, emancipate dental fillings, crowns, tooth enamel, and teeth.
So here we're going to get the portal gun, and we're going to see the first save glitch of the run. Save glitching is something somewhat complicated to explain. So basically what it does is it takes where you're shooting your portal, and it takes where your actual camera is, and it separates them so that you can shoot portals where you're not actually standing. And you can use that to shoot to the end of the chamber. Looks like Lyfeless opted not to go for it, which is all right. Doesn't lose too much time.
Bring your daughter to work day is the perfect time to have her tested.
So one of the effects of save glitch is that some collision in the level just doesn't really exist. So what'll happen is what you saw on Icy's screen, what you see Lyfeless here, he just walks through a door because he's in the save glitch state. And you're going to see Icy do it here again. So it's very useful for certain chambers that you can just walk through certain walls. Now in Chamber 5, you actually have to wait for GLaDOS to stop speaking before the elevator starts moving, so you have a little bit of time to screw around with like the radio, or if you want to shoot the camera off the wall. You have a little bit of time to play around.
Good job. As part of a required test protocol, we will stop enhancing.
So these runs are going alright so far. No huge mistakes. Chamber 6 and 7, which Icy is on right now, Lyfeless is going into, are fairly simple chambers. Chamber 6, you just jump into the portal if you shoot on the ceiling, and you can just get to the end. Chamber 7, you use a fling, and you can just get to the end with skipping the puzzle in its entirety.
Science high-energy pellet seen to the left of the chamber can and has caused permanent disabilities, such as vaporization.
So coming up is Chamber 8. Chamber 8 has a very cool strat in it called ABH over goo. I'm not sure if either runner is even going to go for it. It's incredibly difficult. Saves a few seconds, though.
Warning devices are required on all mobile equipment. However, alarms and flashing
Looks like Icy gets it first try. That is very good. So that saves a few seconds over the other strat where you jump off of a piece of collision that is sticking out of the wall. Yeah, I'm assuming you're going to see Lyfeless here in just a second. So this is actually a fairly close race so far. No huge mistakes from either runner. Looks like Lyfeless is having actually a little bit of trouble here. He gets it, so it's alright. It doesn't lose a whole lot of time. So Chamber 9 that you just saw Icy do is very simple. Valve tried to make it so that you can't shoot a portal under the door. So in certain places what will happen is that the portal will fizzle. But they didn't do that for every part of the door, so you can just shoot under the door, and it's just works. So yeah, Chamber 10 is fairly simple. You just use a few flings, get to the end of the level. There is another very difficult strat in Chamber 10 called door launch. If you land on the just kind of right inside the door, you can launch yourself off the curved lip of it.
Hello again. To reiterate.
So here in Chamber 11 and 12, we get the dual portal gun, which kind of opens up a realm of possibilities with save glitches. So we do the first one here, and since Chamber 11 and 12 are on the same map, you're able to save glitch all the way to the end of it.
You appear to understand how a portal affects forward momentum, or to be more precise.
So now, since they have two portals that they can work with, you're going to see a lot more save glitches. So coming up on Icy's screen, we have Chamber 13. I like to call this the hardest easy chamber. It's even if you see Icy doing the legacy strat here, not doing the save glitch, still somewhat easy to mess up. The save glitch in Chamber 13 doesn't save a whole lot of time, but it's mostly a preference thing. So you see Lyfeless here doing the static save glitch. Had a little bit of trouble with getting the save glitch there. but this is a relatively new way of doing. Ooh, and he shoots out of bounds there. Relatively new way of doing the 11-12 save glitch. Saves about 2 seconds. We have to be careful because it's very easy to shoot that last portal out of bounds. Ooh, looks like he messed up again. He's gonna put him a little bit behind here. Oh, look at that. Icy doing a strat that you don't see very often, which is a legacy strat. Wow. So I didn't necessarily explain AFHing. AFHing is just ABH, which is accelerated back hopping. And you have AFH, which is accelerated forward hopping. It's the same idea except forwards. You just need a little bit more speed to get yourself started. Oh, it looks like Lyfeless fell off that platform there. You gotta save for us, so we're good. Lyfeless is not having a good time here. So you have Icy here going for the 16-17 save glitch. 16 and 17 isn't on the same map like some other maps where you have a save glitch to the end. So what he's going to do here is he's going to get a turret in the bottom of the elevator, which will be important in a second. But he's going to get a into the save glitch state and put a portal onto the bottom of the elevator. So it'll help preserve his save glitch into chamber 17 here. And now what he's going to do is shoot a portal here, and then he will be able to get the turret out of the elevator, also clip through that glass, and then go to the end of the level. So we did, there was a turret button save glitch, which is the idea of what I said before about pushing yourself off of the button, but it's the same idea with a turret. Maybe Life is doing the save glitch strat. Or 15. Saves a little bit of time. You have Icy, you're going for blind 18. Blind just meaning that you don't see any of the portals that you're really shooting. You just kind of use setups on like a wall or wherever you're standing to get your portals in the right spot. So 18 is another chamber where you have to wait for GLaDOS to stop speaking in order, or before the elevator starts moving. So you have a little bit of time before you really have to worry about being in the elevator. Life is opting not to go for 16-17 skip. It is one of, or probably the hardest strat in the run, so it's understandable. Icy is going for double lag. Lag meaning large angle glitch. The game doesn't handle portals on angled surfaces very well, so we abuse that to kind of sort of wrong warp to the end of the level here.
This weighted companion cube will accompany you through the test chamber. Please take care of it.
So you have Escape 0 here. Is one of the more movement difficult levels to do. Looks like Icy misses that jump. And there he goes. Yeah, Eero is a very difficult level with a lot of difficult portal peaks and portal shots. Looks like he's messing up a little bit. Just he has a little bit of time to spare, so it's too big of a deal. Lyfeless here's finishing up chamber 17. He didn't do the 16-17 skip, so he lost about 15 seconds in chamber 17, I believe. But he'd have a slightly faster chamber 16. So Icy here is doing the EO1 save glitch. It is a very difficult save glitch, especially because of all the movement that's involved in it. It looks like he shoots a portal out of bounds, which is unfortunate. It involves a lot of movement, so it's very easy to accidentally shoot a portal out of bounds or in the wrong spot.
Well done.
If you just watch different portal runners do this, you'll see everyone does it differently. And he gets it. There we go. It's very difficult. If you don't, if you accidentally mess up, you might You might have to, use a backup. So if you don't know the backup, it's kind of rough. So here what Icy's doing is using a turret from the previous room in order to shoot the cores off of GLaDOS. GLaDOS takes damage from any turret object, so instead of using the turret in the room, which shoots very slowly and goes back inside the door, what he does is use the turret from the previous room to shoot her, and she takes 3 damage and drops all the cores. Looks like Icy finishes with 12:29, which is a pretty good time. Again, I don't remember exactly what Icy's PB is, but it's that isn't too far off. Looks like Lyfeless is having a little bit of an issue here with double lag, which is understandable. It's a very difficult strat. If you move your camera, ooh, he gets it. If you move your camera left or right, much at all, it will the large angle glitch will kind of put you out of bounds, which is just not good. Looks like it is pizza time. Apparently. Level's going for some strats. Ooh, and he dies. Going for strats that seem a little bit slower, but more consistent than some of the other strats in EOO. Yeah, Lyfeless going into EO1 here. Let's see if he does the EO1 save glitch. I think he does. Again, this is a very difficult save glitch, so wouldn't be surprised if he takes his time on this. Yeah, using the setup for it. Ooh. Looks like he couldn't find his portal shot. He didn't quite go out of bounds, but going out of the save glitch state lost him a little bit of time. And he gets it. So he is coming into EO2 here. Looks like he is just doing the regular flings for EO2. Icy opted to do the catwalk skip, which saves a few seconds. So if you actually get yourself under the railing here, and ABH, you can get yourself going very high speeds. The railing will kind of push you back down to the ground, and you will keep jumping. Here we have getting all the cores off GLaDOS.
Found me. Congratulations. Was it worth it? Because despite your violent behavior, the only thing you've managed to break so far is my heart. Maybe you could settle for that, and we'll just call it a day. I guess we both know that isn't going to happen. You chose this path. Now I have a surprise for you. Deploying surprise.
Here we have Lyfeless doing core fall skip, which he uses a edge glitch, which is kind of like a save glitch but without the save load, to get a portal right below the incinerator. He gets a 1544. Alright. So, for both runners, these runs aren't too bad. But there were some mistakes that, kind of set them back a little bit. So let's see if we are ready to... See if they are ready to go for another race. Alright.
Thank you for assuming the party escort submission position.
And once Icy is ready, we will get started here. Pizza time is over, but pizza time again at the end of this run. They're just waiting on Icy, and we will get started here. Alright, cool. Alright. I should be getting started here in just a second. So let's see how the second race goes. Again, anything can happen. We've had incredibly close races between two people with very different PVs. We have Lyfeless going in there. And Icy going in at the same time. Alright, here we go. So Lyfeless' timer is up this time. I believe what happened is that his capture on his timer froze. So I guess they recropped it. Everything is looking alright. Again, the timers are a little bit desynced, but that's alright because we go by in-game time anyway.
Hello, and again, welcome to the Aperture Science Computer-Aided Enrichment Center.
There's always a few things you can do in the vault. You can throw a clipboard into the toilet, you can clip the piece of the cup out, you can clip the radio out. It's a little more difficult, but you can. Looks like Icy is opting to do nothing. Maybe he thinks it's still pizza time, but I believe it's portal time.
Serious injuries may occur. For your own safety and the safety of others, please refrain from stand back. The portal will open in
Looks like they actually sync the timers here, so we'll see how long that lasts for. So you see Icy doing a ABH around the corner there, which is actually very difficult. While you can change the direction you're ABHing and just by kind of changing your angle with your camera, it's very common to lose a lot of speed when changing angles like that, so it's quite difficult to do, ABHing like around corners. See if either of them go for a button save glitch this time. Doesn't look like it. Which is understandable. It's a difficult trick that kind of kills most early runs. In that case, it's all based on movement in these first two chambers.
Please move quickly to the chamber lock as the effects of prolonged exposure to the button.
Looks like Lyfeless is having a little bit of trouble with his getting his ABHs started. And chamber 2, it's about 23 seconds of waiting. This has even less to do than the vault. You can kind of get yourself on top of the door. But other than that, it's just kind of ABHing and AFHing around the small space you do have. There's a segmented strat where you can actually ABH through the door as it opens, and you can actually launch yourself off the door and get around like above the wall. but that's not something that's really RTA viable. So we're gonna see the
You are now in possession
2-3
of
save
the
glitch here.
Aperture Science handheld portal
Icy gets it
device.
pretty quickly, so that's good.
You can create your own portals.
Lyfeless, again, opts not to go for it. I don't believe he's learned it.
Completely safe. The device, however, has not. Do not touch the
It's one of the
operational end
harder
of the
save
device.
glitches to learn.
Do not look directly at the operational end of... Well done. Remember, the Aperture Science Bring Your Daughter to Work Day is the perfect time
Another
to
cool
have her
strat that you can do.
tested.
It doesn't save very much time. Looks like Icy fell there into the abyss. Again. But one of the cool strats you can do in Chamber 4, you can actually ABH and kind of get yourself around that glass wall and jump over that gap. Saves maybe a second. Kind of difficult to do, but it's something you can do. He still looks like he's having a pretty decent run here. Decent run going into Chamber 6.
As part of a required test protocol, our previous statement suggesting that we would not monitor this chamber was
Lyfeless not taking any chances, getting to the elevator right away.
Good job.
Which makes sense.
As part of
I've
a
definitely seen
required
people
test protocol,
miss
we
the
will
elevator.
start enhancing the truth in 3, 2.
Yeah, so this race so far is kind of close, but Icy has the advantage of about one chamber.
While safety is one of many Enrichment Center goals, the Aperture Science High Energy Pellet
Lyfeless seems to be taking
the chamber can and
taking
has caused
a lot of
permanent
precautions on certain
disabilities
chambers,
such
which
as vaporization.
is it's understandable, seeing as some things are very easy to mess up. Like jumping, if you don't get over to the end of the level on Chamber 6 quick enough, you can actually just die from the orb coming down on you.
Alarms and flashing hazard lights have been found to agitate.
Is Icy going for ABH Overview until he gets it? Well, I guess that answers that question. Again, that's a very difficult strat. Getting yourself over the railing is quite difficult, and then kind of strafing yourself around the other railing to get onto it.
Contact with the chamber floor will result in an unsatisfactory mark on your official testing record, followed by death. Good luck. Very impressive. Please note that any appearance of danger
Let's
is
have a
merely
little bit less
device
trouble
to
with Chamber 8 than he
enhance
did
your
last run,
testing
so
experience.
he's looking good so far.
The Enrichment Center regrets to inform you that this next test is impossible. Make no attempt to solve it.
See if Icy goes for door launch. Oh wow, and he actually gets it. That is very difficult. And he almost got directly to the elevator, which is even faster. Door launch saves about 5 or 6 seconds. Or we're not doing it, so Icy's on a pretty decent run so far.
Reiterate. Spectacular. You appear to understand how a portal affects forward momentum, or to be more precise, how it does not.
Looks like Icy, as opposed to last run, he's going for the static save glitch. Didn't go for last run. Saves about 2 seconds if you do it well.
The device has been modified so that it can now manufacture 2 linked portals at once. As part of an optional test protocol,
Looks like...
we are pleased.
Don't tell me he's going for this.
An amusing fact.
Oh my. So it looks like Icy is going for a camera fly. If you get onto that camera at a certain angle, it will give you a lot of speed very quickly. And it looks like he's getting to a save glitch state so that he can fly through the wall with the speed from the camera fly. Which is... I saw him do this on another race. The only person I could ever see going for that. It is a reckless strat, to say the least. I'm sorry, Icy I'm referring to as a girl gamer. So that gives Lyfeless a little bit of
control of both portals.
leeway to catch
This
up.
next test could take a very
Still about chamber and a
long
half, 2 chambers
time.
behind.
If you become lightheaded from thirst, feel free to pass out. An incubation associate will be dispatched to revive you with peptic salve and adrenaline. As part of a previously mentioned required test protocol, we can no longer...
I'll have to go into 14 here. 14 is the shortest chamber in the run. You just kind of fling yourself to the end. Casually, 14 can take a little while, but this is something Valve even knew about. Some of the advanced challenges, you actually need to use that strat to get to the end quick enough.
The Enrichment Center is committed to the well-being of all participants.
And if Icy's going into 16 here, see how he does on 16, 17. Did pretty good last run.
Thank you for helping us help
See how it
you
goes
help
here.
us all.
So basically, you get into the elevator, and you actually activate it from the bottom there. What's important with the 16-17 skip is that in the chamber 16, you can't actually open the doors to the elevator before you go under it. If you do that, then you actually can't do the skip. You need to activate the elevator, doors opening from the bottom.
It has been replaced with a live fire course designed for military androids. The Enrichment Center apologizes for the inconvenience.
If Lyfeless here going
and
into
wishes you the
chamber
best of luck.
17.
Well done, Android. The Enrichment
Icy's having a little
Center
bit of
once
trouble with
again
chamber
reminds
17,
you
giving them
that Android Hell
giving Lyfeless a
is
little bit of
real
a chance to
place
catch
where
up
you
here.
will be sent at the first sign of
Might actually
defiance.
see a little bit closer race this time.
The vital apparatus vent will deliver a weighted companion cube in 3, 2, 1. This weighted companion cube will accompany you through the test chamber. Please take care of it.
So Lyfeless, because he's opting not to do 16, 17, kind of has to deal with the cube, which can be a little bit frustrating sometimes,
Perceiving inanimate objects as alive and hallucinations.
but a lot easier than doing the 16, 17 skip.
The weighted companion cube will never threaten to stab you and, in fact, cannot speak.
Looks like Icy, aka Girl Gamer 420, is having no trouble with chamber 18 here.
However, it cannot accompany you for the rest of the test.
And again, he doesn't need to be in the elevator at 18 as quickly as possible. You have to wait for Gladys to stop speaking.
On record. Congratulations.
That was a little bit of time. So yeah, Lyfeless is about 1 chamber behind. So if Icy does some more interesting strats, or has some trouble on double lag here, Lyfeless might have a chance to catch up a little bit.
The Enrichment Center is required to remind you that you will be baked, and then there will be cake.
Also, he gets double lag first try. Very good. Double lag is a very difficult strat.
Well done. Be advised that the next test requires exposure to uninsulated electrical parts that may
Doing
be dangerous under
duo
certain conditions.
pretty quickly as
For
well.
more information,
Kind of peeking through
please
those portals
attend
very
an
quickly.
Enrichment Center electrical safety seminar.
He's trying to make up for the time that he they lost doing some of the other strats. Lyfeless here going into chamber 19. We're doing the double lag strat, first lag being right here.
When you are done, you
To
will
set up
drop
the
device in the equipment recovery
second portal. So he falls off there.
recovery annex. Enrichment Center regulations
This is just to set up the
require plans to be
second portal
active before
to
any
do the second large angle glitch.
cake.
And Icy has no problems with E1 save glitch. You can do a catwalk skip again, straight into this portal, so you can skip running across the catwalk. And he's gonna peek through a couple of portals here, and then put the portal so that he can use the turret to kill GLaDOS here. I was having a little bit of trouble getting this, that shot. It's a very tight shot, so it's sometimes hard to find. Portal isn't exactly in the right spot.
It's not too late for you to turn back.
Yep, and then we have Icy finishing with a 1, 2, 3, 4. Fairly solid run. He takes the win here. Lyfeless going into EO1. I don't believe he can PB. PB is like a mid 14. If he goes very quickly, he might be able to, but actually, I don't think so, especially because he doesn't do the because he does flings. Taking his time here. Seems like he can't find his portal shot here. He's gonna start it from the beginning. And looks like it's pizza time again. Yeah, and Lyfeless gets the EO1 save glitch. So it seems like he will be a little bit close to PB. Not quite. And something to keep in mind here, sometimes if you're pretty fast with the GLaDOS, collecting the GLaDOS cores, you have to actually wait a few seconds, or you might soft lock the game. If you, ooh, and he doesn't look like he got all 3 cores off GLaDOS. If you start incinerating cores too early, oh, that's unfortunate. Oh, he's loading back from beginning of EO too. Ooh. That's unfortunate. Looks like they're having a little bit of trouble here, which is understandable. Sometimes once you start making some mistakes, it's difficult to kind of pull back from it. So we're going to be going into GLaDOS for the second time here. There he goes, and he gets all the cores off of GLaDOS just fine this time.
Congratulations. Was it worth it? Because despite
Yeah, there's a slight amount of RNG in that in those turret shots, but especially that with that strat, that is one of the least RNG ways of the turret shooting GLaDOS.
Time out for a second. Neurotoxin.
And there we go. And here we are. See if Lyfeless wants to actually come up here.
Hello.
Oh, hey.
Hi.
Hey, so unfortunate with that
helpful features on the outside and the most controlling, kooky, and evil parts of the secret inner core. Use deception. Don't tell them who you really are. Lie. Leave out important information or distort information. Are you trying to recruit me? No. I'm just trying to share something meaningful.
So this is something.
Establish front groups. We're a Bible study group. We're a management course.
Okay.
Cool. Alright.
All right. So, unfortunate about that EO2 in your last run.
Yeah, I didn't notice it did knock all the cores off until I'd already saved, so...
Yeah.
I mean, I was like nearly on PB pace for that second one, probably going into the escapes and then...
Yeah, I saw for after 19, I believe. I thought that you might be on PB pace, but just barely.
Yeah, no, it was just barely. I think my PBO was like 4 seconds above that, something like that. I'm not totally sure what it was though. But yeah, that was an interesting run. Much better escapes than the last time I was in one of these races.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
was...
We've
Oh,
we've
sorry.
seen quite a lot of escape chokes in this tournament.
Yeah,
Myself being one of them.
I feel like if we just like didn't do the escapes in this tournament, that would make my life so much easier.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be as interesting.
Fair enough. How did Girl Gamer's times go? I wasn't watching.
He actually did pretty well. Got I believe a 12:20 something on the first run and a 12:34 on the second run.
Nice.
Second run he actually got ABH over goo, Dora launch, and then he went for the camera fly in chamber 13.
He didn't get through it though. He said he was
Excuse me?
gonna try it. He said he was gonna try camera fly. He didn't manage it.
He did
He did.
pretty quickly too.
Oh my gosh.
The only
Jeez.
person I would ever imagine doing that.
Yeah, I don't
It's-
think I've to see anyone else do camera fly and run yet. So that's pretty impressive, honestly.
Only person I've ever seen do it.
Yeah,
It's-
I guess.
It's
No,
quite the strat.
It's crazy. Yeah.
I mean, at some points you are only one chamber behind, like more than halfway through the run.
Seriously.
So I was like, if he messes up, you got this.
Yeah, and then he doesn't mess up because. No, but yeah, that was. I'm gonna be honest, not a bad pace. I'm kind of proud of that, except for the escapes. Those are terrible.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't have any really, really serious like major chokes.
Yeah.
Like that
just
EO2
the-
was kind of rough, but
Yeah, just
you
that
didn't
was
soft
more
lock the
impressive than
game.
choke.
you
Well,
didn't.
it was a soft lock unless I reset.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Alright. Yeah. Well, that's.
That's that. I'm not sure if he
I-
wants to get in here, but I think did he leave the server?
I don't think he's coming back. No.
Right.
All right.
Well, anyway, GG.
Thank
Good
you.
race. And yeah, thanks everyone
Alright.
for hanging out. So goodbye.
Sierra.